Are there any literature of where it is, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, once we get a little bit down to the wire here, I've got some postcards about it. So I'll be happy to get those.
Voiceacting.com.
Of course, yeah. He was lucky enough to latch on to the most easy to remember thing.
Voiceacting.com.
Yeah. Or if you want to go to the website for that convention specifically, it's voice2010.com. Easy enough.
Patrick says he's telling secrets right now.
I just was mentioning to Wendy that
unidentifiable fruit?
I suppose it's ruby red grapefruit. It looks like salmon.
It does. It looks like sushi.
And as much as I love sushi, I'm like, oh, it's a little early for that.
Well,
it's
watermelon, but I'm sure there's salmon in it if you wanted to.
Yes! All my nutrients. I'm Patrick Seitz. I've done voiceover for anime and some video games. I got into this back. I got the acting bug early on. Plowed through college as fast as I could because I wanted to go to LA because it was just as easy as that. I was going to get out to LA and they're going to be like, oh, thank God you're here. Oh, what would we have done? Here are all these parts. Here are your scripts. Be ready tomorrow. Oh, thank the Lord. Didn't quite work out that way. I never lived on my own. Didn't know how life worked. Didn't know how LA worked. Learned a lot of life lessons, which is a euphemism for life, just kicking my ass for a year and a half.
Nice.
But while I was out there, because I had this sort of weird voice forever, like from birth onward. It's weird when you're 18 and you weigh like 160 pounds. You're like, hey guys, what's up? Like, what? This lady I was taking acting classes with.
Trick or treating must have been so fun.
I'm thinking about the baby. Wow.
And she said you might want to think of voiceover as like a side thing to do, you know, when you're not busy with TV and film projects. So I went out, spent a bunch of money on classes. Money I did not have. Taking classes is awesome when you're like, man, $600. And I don't have, oh, okay. So I took a bunch of classes, made a demo. I was like, yay, made the demo. And then in Backstage West, which is the trade publication with auditions if you don't have an agent. It is the last refuge of the damned and desperate. Or first refuge, hopefully. But they never have voiceover stuff, hardly ever. And when they did, they're like, oh, animated project. I've got a demo, let's send it in. So went in and read for something, didn't hear back for like a month, figured, okay, nothing came of that. And then as I was on my way to voiceover class, I got a call saying I got it. I'm like, yay, bragging rights in class, And I was just lucky enough to get in on the ground floor with this company, New Gen, on what was only like their second or third project. So they didn't have a set stable yet.
What show was it?
They're tipping out in casting magazines. Okay.
At the time, they didn't have it was Amazing Nurse Nanako.
Wow.
Which
right,
the Vatican is cloning Jesus and he's an alien, and there's a maid with a large chest and zany hijinks.
Not in an anime.
I know, right? It was.
Wait, the Japanese came up with this? No.
It was a good, because I didn't know about anime. I had no idea, but that was it was indicative of the genre. So I thought, oh, okay, this is anime. And then as they got more and more projects, since they didn't have their set thing of people yet, as their fortunes increased, they kept bringing me in. Eventually I got to meet other people and have that sort of lateral shift. And then they let me write stuff and direct stuff, and sometimes they let me yell and roar, because I can yell and roar and I don't bitch about it, so there we go.
Excellent.
Nice. Patrick is an amazing sport about trashing his voice in the studio.
Wow.
We can always depend on him. He is wonderful.
Getting paid to roar. Oh no.
I know.
Oh no.
I thought you were a fan. I didn't know that you didn't know about the art.
I didn't know. I came to see that fan out there.
Yeah.
But I didn't get I had no idea. I mean, I knew about Akira. I'd heard of Akira. I'm like, motorcycles and some guys'
Everybody's
head
heard
gets
of Akira.
big.
I
But
love that. Very cool. See, we know each other well. Well, I was interrupted.
No, I was getting
I'm sorry.
Tadao.
I'm sorry. I so need to. I'm just going to say that I've known Patrick for several years, and I didn't know all that cool stuff. So it's really fun sharing this stuff with you guys, because I get to find out about my friends. Okay. So sorry.
this is fun.
This is fun, hey. Guest of honor, you can do whatever you want. You can kick us out if you want. All right. Yeah, after we do our intro.
I know we will dance.
Yes.
I have Sushi's guest of honor.
Tadao! Tell us about yourself.
Please.
Please.
How y'all doing? My name's Tadao Tomomatsu. Obviously, this was my first drawback when I was born in Texas. It actually took me 4 years to get rid of this accent. And I really, seriously, I was born, mom and dad from Tokyo. You know, and that's really hard when you go back and go, Konnichiwa, watashi wa Tadao Tomomatsu. And then we moved, and then we moved up north. The damn Yankees, I mean Northerners, to a man of funny. So I changed my accent. I'm both of them from East Glasgow, Scotland, but for some reason they did not believe me whatsoever. I actually went in sideways as far as life goes. I actually, believe it or not, started as a radio DJ. And we had the pots of this, except I was going,
hi, this is Mike Hansen, 105.5, 850 on the AM. Pretty nice house, roll around the top of the box, all do you live in America, and here's Elton John.
The problem was we had a sister station, so I had to bring back my southern accent, because we had a country western station right in the same building. We had both over-switched. So it was kind of weird when you're going to the, and you're starting to go, say, hey, boy, howdy, because you realize you're in the wrong studio. And yes, we did the whole razor blades and all the, we had pots. Pots is what they call volume. Volume controls that look like these big steering wheels. Valves.
Turn up the volume, Igor, you know.
And the problem was I was going by Tadao Tomomatsu so often, and I'd make personal appearances, and everyone's going, you're not that southern guy, are you? And so they made me change my name, so I eventually became Mike Hansen, 105.5, and then I'd still make personal appearances, and they'd still look at me, hey, where's that Mike Hansen? Hi there.
Oh.
You're not from around here, are you?
Yes, sir. Well, I have something in common that your radio personality name was Mike Hansen.
Yeah.
People think I'm from the band Hanson. So.
There you go.
I love the hair. Isn't that great hair?
He's got great hair. He just woke up this morning, just 3 hours.
I'm gonna miss that hair when he's gone.
I'll never tell my secret.
Ironically, I ended up doing a lot more radio plays and things like that in the Midwest because we do that because we're stuck indoors 6 months out of the year. The rest of the times I moved out here, became PA, worked on other things. I actually get more in front of the camera. I've been blown up on Heroes way too much. I've been Mr. Shake Hands Man on Bonsai, which makes me... It's really funny because everyone calls thinks I'm British, which doesn't really help when you go into auditions. I actually went to an audition and they told me, first of all, that I wasn't Japanese enough for Pearl Harbor.
Tomomatsu.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's really, and then the other funny thing is that they said, "Oh, thank you very much for taking so much time over this from England." This is I'm from Burbank. You know, what do you mean England? I walked and done a few voiceovers for lots of commercials and animes. Like I did Street Fighter 2: The Ride for a lot of the commercials for Sega. And all these other, I do lots of eclectic stuff. I can't even keep track anymore. But I don't get the fun mainstream stuff yet. So if you guys got any extra hints, I'll be over. But for some reason, hiring a Japanese guy to do a Japanese anime just seems so wrong. And every time I do it, they always want this stupid voice. I don't know why they want me to talk like this. I said, y'all just don't want me to do this one. You know,
it's so wrong.
No, Nobunaga from southern Japan, you know. And it still drives me. I actually did an audition once because they were going, we need a Scooby-Doo Yogi Bear thing with a Japanese accent. Hey, Bubu-san, ikimashou, tabetemasu. Rapi, tabetemasu, sushi desu. For some reason, they didn't go for it. But that's a short one.
Whatever the director wants.
It's whatever the director wants, and there you go. But anyway, hi.
So, for some reason, they said I'm hosting this. It'll be an interesting perspective for you. My name's Stephen Weese, by the way. I'm like a brand new voice actor, so I'm just kind of trying to bust down the door and get in. Yes. So I have a totally different story than these guys, and this is like the first time I've actually gotten to tell it. So I'm gonna tell it and make these guys have to listen. But